Not every Play Store game is built for a device like this, but the ones that are can turn the RG Rotate into something really special. Hey everyone, Retro Tech Dad here, and I'm pretty excited to make a return to this series featuring great Android games to play for our retro handheld devices. This has been an ongoing series since the early days of the channel, and this time around I felt inspired by Anbernic's most recent handheld, the RG Rotate, to focus in on some games that work well for this form factor, which means games that can scale to the unique display as well as the D-pad only focused controls. There's a vast world of games available natively for Android on the Play Store, but as many of my longtime viewers know, it can be a bit of a nightmare to navigate and find some solid gems to enjoy. So for this video, I've compiled 8 games that I thought were solid choices for the Anbernic RG Rotate, but the nice thing is that this list will apply to other handhelds like the Retroid Pocket Classic, Neo DMG, and any other Android-based handheld that is limited or not limited by its controls and features a unique aspect ratio display. This list will be in no particular order, and I'm going to feature games that are both free to play as well as paid premium experiences. So enough of this intro, get your favorite snacks out of your Rust bin and let's get to this game's showcase. And Hot Lap League is the perfect game to start out with, and certainly not a stranger to the channel, and one that has been featured before. If you've played games like Trackmania and enjoy that style, Hot Lap League is an easy recommendation. It's an arcade-style racer built around mastering short courses, shaving seconds off your lap times, and nailing every drift and corner with precision. This is a standout game for me, not just because it's a lot of fun, but in particular for the RG Rotate, the game scales well and works with just the controls that we have on board. Hot Lap League is also a premium buy-it-once type of game, which I believe is going for $4.99, and it's also part of Google's Play Pass subscription service if that's more your preference. Now speaking of top choices and premium games, Gambonanza happens to be both of those things, and it's an indie darling much in the same vein as something like Balatro, but instead of a deck of cards, Gambonanza takes the rules of chess and transforms it into a turn-based roguelike. In every run, you're building out a board state piece by piece, stacking these rule-bending gambits that let you break traditional chess in some pretty wild ways. And that strategy layer scratches that same one more run itch Balatro fans might already be familiar with. On a D-pad only handheld like the RG Rotate, it's just a natural fit since everything's based on a grid-based movement. It's available for $5.99 on the Play Store, and honestly, that's a steal for the kind of hours that you will most likely sink into this one. You almost can't talk about mobile gaming without mentioning Jetpack Joyride, and it definitely earns a well-deserved spot here. Half Brick's Endless Runner has you piloting Barry Steak Fries. No, seriously, that's his name. Through a lab full of lasers, missiles, and zappers, and the entire game is built around one single input. That simplicity is exactly why it translates so well to a D-pad only handheld, since there's no touchscreen precision required, just timing. It's free to play with the option to disable ads for just $2.99, but it's an easy one to just drop on the device and have in your back pocket, though maybe don't keep this device in your back pocket. But it is great for quick sessions, and I think it's the perfect pick up and play kind of game for the Rotate. Crossy Road just happens to be another game that is perfect to pick up and play, as well as being another very well-known mobile game entry. This is one of those games that everybody already knows how to play the second they see it, since it's basically Frogger with a voxel-based coat of paint. The thing about Crossy Road is that the gameplay is charming, addictive, and looks great on the Rotate's screen since it scales well. Not only that, it works very well with just the D-pad based controls because of the directional movement, which I much prefer over the touchscreen input. This is a free-to-play game, and so it's an easy recommend to just load up on your RG Rotate and have some fun with it, and keep it for those quick gameplay sessions, and with tons of things to unlock, this is one that can keep you occupied for a long time. This next entry is one of my personal favorites, and it comes to us from a studio known as Mediocre, but let me tell you, Pinout is anything but that. Pinout takes the classic pinball formula and stretches the table out into an endless vertical ascent. This is the same studio responsible for another fun game called Smash Hit, so you know the presentation is going to be sharp. The core interaction is just your left and right flippers, which maps cleanly onto a couple of shoulder or face buttons, so you're not missing anything by the controls on the Rotate. This game, like the others on this list, scales really well to the Rotate's display, and this one in particular really shines visually. There is a free tier to get you hooked, with a small one-time unlock if you want checkpoint saves, so you're not always starting from ball 1. The one-time premium unlock is available for $2.99, and I think it's worth the purchase to support the team, and it's a fun pick up and play experience that again suits the Rotate quite well. So if you've been missing that classic monster taming RPG feeling, Coromon is basically that genre's love letter, right down to the turn-based battles and the region full of critters to catch and trade. Since everything here is menu navigation and grid-based overworld movement, it's about as ideal as it gets for a D-pad only setup with no compromises needed. The game, much like many other paid experiences on the Play Store, is set up as a try before you buy title, so you can at least check out the beginning for free and see if it's your thing. The unlock for the full story costs $4.99, and given how much content is packed into it, it's an easy one to recommend for anyone who wants a long-haul RPG on the RG Rotate. Edge EX, or Edge Extended, is one of those mobile classics that honestly, it's a little wild it still holds up as well as it does. If anything, given its age, this one is probably a forgotten gem at this point. So in Edge EX, you're guiding a little cube through minimalist, isometric puzzle levels, rolling and hopping it across platforms, chasing better completion times as you go. It's from MobyGame, the same folks behind the original Edge, and this extended version basically doubles the content with a whole additional set of levels. What makes it a great pick for the RG Rotate specifically is that it actually ships with proper directional pad controls built in. I also really enjoy the visual design for this game, and of course it scales properly to the Rotate's display. It's a premium one-time purchase for $2.99 on the Play Store, and for a game with this much design pedigree behind it, that's basically pocket change. Okay, so this last game I actually found more recently, and I have to say that somehow it's fitting it's going last, because it definitely lives up to the expression last but certainly not least, as it might be my favorite one out of the bunch, mostly because of its absolutely ridiculous premise. Bomb Chicken is exactly what it sounds like. You play as a chicken who, after a mysterious accident, can now lay an endless supply of bombs, and the entire platforming is built around using those bombs as tools instead of just weapons, stacking them to climb, kicking them to clear enemies, and even using them as counterweights. The game was developed by Nitro, so the pixel art and level design have that same tight retro charm you'd expect from a studio that's been making these kind of games for a long time. They helped co-develop Shovel Knight Dig with Yacht Club Games, which is a game that I've featured before and one I really adore as well. Now many, at least over in the mobile gaming world, probably have played this one with a touchscreen, but this can get a little fiddly, so this is genuinely one of those games that plays better with a proper D-pad and buttons instead of a touchscreen, making it a natural pick for the RG Rotate. Surprisingly, it's one that actually scales to this display as well, and if you pay attention to certain sections, you will notice how some areas actually occupy the full portion of the panel. So it's a great game for many reasons on the Rotate. It also happens to be a premium one-time paid experience that's available for $6.49, and I think it's well worth the money. And so that does it for this one, and I hope that you enjoyed this nice short list of fun games to play on your RG Rotate, or really for any of your favorite Android-based handhelds, as most of these games will work great for the countless options available to us today. I hope that you discovered some new gems with this video, and please do share your favorite picks for Android games on the Rotate or just in general down in the comments section. I'm always keeping track of games for future entries in this long-running series. Until the next time, as always, I am the Retro Tech Dad, and thank you so much for watching.